Welcome to McKeen's Hockey on YouTube. On today's video, Brock Otten, the Director of Scouting at McKeen's, will be doing a scouting report on Sam Dickinson. And if you want to check out the article with videos, head over to mckeenshockey.com. And can you please subscribe and hit that like button? We'd really appreciate it. And without further ado, I'm going to pass you on to Brock Otten to talk about Sam Dickinson of the London Knights.
Today, our scouting report is on Sam Dickinson, who is one of the top defensemen available for the 2024 NHL draft. The London Knights rear guard is an outstanding skater. He is definitely one of the best skaters available this year, regardless of position. And within that skating lies his terrific two-way potential. As an offensive player, he's most dangerous offensively off the puck. Very aggressive in terms of his activation. He loves to jump up in the play. He loves to defend aggressively to give him and the London Knights an opportunity to counter attack. From the defensive perspective, he's very good with his gap control, very good with his rush defense because of his outstanding mobility. And that's something we're going to get into a little bit later on in this report. Overall, Dickinson's projection is that of a very steady top four defender. He's very pro ready as well. There's a lot to like about his game, and there's a lot to suggest that he is somebody who could play an NHL shift as early as next season, because that size and that skating mobility combination, he is somebody that could make an NHL roster as early as next year. The highest point of his upside depends on how his offensive game rounds into form. I think his defensive game is very, very safe. I think that there's very little chance that he busts outright. I think that he is a very safe top four defender. It's just a matter of whether he is a solid number one or number two, or somebody who is, a 20-minute a night second pairing anchor. And within the London Knights organization, he's going to get an opportunity to develop to the best of his ability. So let's start to break down his attributes as we do at McKeen's Hockey. And first, we're going to start with his skating. So let's let Dickinson's performance at the CHL Top Prospects game do the talking here. For those unfamiliar, at the CHL Top Prospects game, they do a whole whack of on-ice testing, and a lot of it does involve skating. So Dickinson was first in the 30-meter forward skate with the puck. He was third in the 30-meter backward skating without the puck, first with the puck, and second in transitional ability. There's just such an effortlessness to his stride. It's similar to Jamie Drysdale in that regard. However, he's got more length and power than Drysdale did, and that makes him so dangerous in transition. He builds the top speed in only a few strides, and he doesn't lose speed through directional changes, making him very tough to pin down in the neutral zone. He's not the world's most blessed puck handler, but he doesn't need to be with how well he blends his skating with his ability to protect the puck and size. Dickinson's transitional stride is also effortless as he switches from backwards to forward stride to retrieve pucks. Takes really great routes to retrievals and rarely gets pinned because of it. He also pivots and uses C-cuts so effortlessly to help him evade pressure. Now, at McKeen's Hockey, if you're not familiar, we do grade these skills for each player, and the skating for Dickinson is going to grade out at 60, which for us would put him well above average into that near elite category when he makes the NHL. All right, let's start to look at some clips now. For the first one, look at how quickly Dickinson builds speed here. He is literally getting to top speed in one or two strides, and then it's off to the races. This clip also is a great example of how Dickinson likes to activate off the puck and be very dangerous because of it. In the second clip, Dickinson alters his direction without breaking stride or losing any speed, helping him to gain the zone effortlessly, setting up a quality scoring chance. Again, he's so dangerous and so difficult to pin down because of his ability to change direction without losing that speed. In the third clip, we see Dickinson out here breaking ankles. That quick direction change without losing speed causes the Ottawa forechecker to fall to his knees. Then he gains the offensive zone with ease. All right, the second category we're going to grade for Dickinson is his shot. Now, outside of his skating ability, Dickinson's second best asset as an offensive player is his shot. He can really rifle it. He has a terrific shooting posture and habits. He one-times pucks cleanly because he gets his feet moving into the shot. He also routinely gets himself those open looks by sliding into open space while being ready for those return passes so that he can get the puck off his stick very quickly. As a power play quarterback, Dickinson is an absolutely lethal weapon as a trigger man. His shots find the back of the net or they generate second chance opportunities. If we were to grade Dickinson's shot, it would be a 55, which again would be quite a bit above average for a defenseman. Most defensemen do not grade that high. As we look at some clips, the first one, self-explanatory. We see Dickinson use the one-time slap shot on the power play that we just talked about, and it finds the back of the net. In the second clip, we see Dickinson go boom again. Honestly, rinse, repeat here. What I want you to pay attention to is the weight transfer as he switches into the middle to get ready for that one-timer. In clip 3, we have a clip from the Hlinka Gretzky last summer, and we see Dickinson get a quick shot through under pressure, which leads to a second chance opportunity and a goal. Other than his excellent one-time slap shot, Dickinson also does a really good job of getting pucks through the net with a quick wrister just when he's feeling that pressure at the point. Now, the next skill that we're going to break down is that skills category. Now, when we're talking about skills, we're talking about a lot of different things here. We're talking about creativity and puck skill, but we're also talking about passing skill. We're talking about some defensive skills, and we're going to talk about that as we go through this progression. Now, the vast majority of Dickinson's offensive production comes from his big point shot, quick breakouts, or from his ability to find soft spots and coverage when jumping up in the play. He's someone who uses his skating ability in combination with his high IQ way more than pure individual skill or creativity. He's not consistently dangling defenders out of their skates to prolong possession or to work inside the way that fellow 2024 OHL running mate Zane Parekh does. But that doesn't mean that Dickinson is devoid of pure skill. He's really good at evading pressure in the defensive end. One, because he takes great routes to retrievals and because his skating advantage allows him to be consistently first in races. But two, because he blends quick moves and quick thinking with pivots, C-cuts, and stops and starts to escape forecheckers. Then he's got his head up and he's looking to push pace, either with a stretch pass or with his feet. One thing you'll see Dickinson do often, unlocking his creativity, is use the boards for self-passes, allowing him to escape, but also build speed to initiate the breakout. Another area where Dickinson shows off his puck skills when he is aggressive offensively without the puck, attacking the net. He routinely cycles down low on the power play, but can be found driving through the middle of the ice in transition, catching defenders flat-footed with his speed. He has scored several goals on partial breakaways this year, finishing off plays in tight with a deft move or a quick shot. All that said, is Dickinson a player with some skill limitations? At this current time, I do believe so. Earlier in the year, neutral zone and offensive zone turnovers were an issue where he would try to barrel through opposing defenses, failing to execute moves with the puck at full speed. To Dickinson's credit, he's really cut down on those turnovers as the year has progressed, learning to simplify his approach and pick his spots better. However, being able to blend hands with speed to attack the middle is what separates the top offensive defenders in the NHL, like Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes, from simply efficient ones. If we were to grade Dickinson's skill, it would be a 55. And that kind of puts him in that just slightly above average range where we see him developing into that solid and capable number 2 or 3 for an NHL team down the road. If we look at some clips, the first one is a great example of Dickinson's failure to execute a skilled move to get into the middle with the puck. In fact, in this clip, we see 2 such examples as he tries the same move twice, with the second attempt leading to a 2-on-1 for Erie. In the second clip, Dickinson fails to knock down the saucer pass. Then he fails to execute the move at the blue line to escape pressure, leading to a bad turnover. Fortunately, Dickinson neutralizes it by easily catching up to the battalion player, regaining possession, and drawing a penalty. Now, what will take Dickinson's game to that next level is that ability to evade sticks and evade pressure at the point, being able to work inside with his hands, because that would take him to that premier level of a power play quarterback and not just sort of a power play trigger man. In the third clip, we see a very skilled finish here by Dickinson. He works the give and go expertly, driving the middle with his speed and then finishes the play off with a quick chip shot. The next category that we're going to talk about is Dickinson's smarts, or his IQ. Now, the description of Dickinson's on-ice awareness is best explained by separating his offensive and defensive tendencies. Offensively, you'll see Dickinson play extremely aggressively within London's system. Not only does he routinely lead the charge of the defensive zone himself, but he is consistently in attack mode without the puck, seeks out opportunities to jump up in the play. He often uses his speed really well to beat back-checking forwards, putting pressure on opposing defenses to have to pick him up, which either creates chances for him or opens up ice for his teammates. For as aggressive as he is, it's actually rare to see Dickinson caught up ice with action going the other way. He picks his spots well. It also means that the majority of the time Dickinson activates, the Knights score or secure a stoppage. As mentioned, Dickinson is also a breakout machine who rarely turns the puck over in his own end. Defensively, Dickinson is a great stick-on puck defender who has great gap control because of his terrific mobility. He routinely keeps attacking forwards to the perimeter and disrupts entry attempts. If he can force forwards to chip and chase, he often wins those races because of his transitional agility. Bottom line, it's tough for opposing teams to secure the offensive zone when Dickinson is on the ice. In defensive zone coverage, Dickinson plays extremely aggressively, looking to use his length and quickness to disrupt shooting and passing lanes. It's not uncommon to see him rotate to cover the point. It's actually why he's so good in transition offensively too, because his pressure up high forces turnovers, and then he's able to use his speed to beat defenders down the ice. While those roving tendencies will need to be reined in a bit at the NHL level, his skating ability does give him terrific recovery ability. The only real negative that I'd have to say here is that Dickinson has a tendency to get caught puck watching when defending the slot. This makes him slow to react to shot attempts in that home plate area and less effective than you'd like him to be when defending the net front. I would expect this to get cleaned up as he gains experience at the pro level and continues to play with the Hunters in London. Overall, we're going to grade Dickinson's smarts at a 60. So again, that is well above average into that near elite level at the NHL level eventually. For the clips for his smarts, the first one, we see Dickinson's head up the whole way here as he finds a loose puck in the defensive zone and quickly fires a one-time stretch pass to set up a 2-on-none. In the second clip, it's almost like Dickinson has eyes in the back of his head. He executes the stick lift, then quickly lobs it to Easton Cowan for the breakaway goal in overtime. Now, this third clip is one such example of Dickinson getting caught puck watching. He leaves Malcolm Spence completely wide open in the slot when Dickinson should have been marking him. The last category that we're going to talk about in regards to Dickinson is his physicality or compete level. Now, Dickinson plays his most physical in open ice. He'll step up on attackers early and look to disrupt entry attempts by throwing hits at the blue line or in the neutral zone. You're actually most likely to see him throw a big hit following a turnover. He clearly hates losing the puck and channels that into physicality to help him earn possession back for London. Dickinson is also a strong shot blocker whose compete level increases when he's killing penalties or when he's on the ice late to protect leads. However, Dickinson is very much a mostly stick-on puck defender at this point. He prefers to use his length and skating advantage to be disruptive. He needs to get better at defending the net front and becoming more consistently dominant in 50-50 battles when he's not able to win those races to pucks in the corner. With his size, you'd love to see the physical engagement level be higher. It would certainly take his defensive game to the upper stratosphere. If we were to grade it, currently it would be a 50, which would be about league average. But there is definitely a lot of opportunity for that grade to increase over the next few years as Dickinson gains strength and confidence in his ability to use his large frame. As for the clips, the first one is an excellent defensive play by Dickinson here as he stays with Michael Misa, who is an absolutely dynamic skater, re-engages and then separates him from the puck. The second clip is another great defensive play by Dickinson. He engages early on Matthew Sopp, but stays with him, eventually separating him from the puck. Then he escapes pressure and helps initiate the breakout. In the final clip, we see Dickinson lose a net front battle to Cal Ritchie, who scores because Dickinson fails to tie him up in a scramble. These are the types of plays that would kill Dickinson at that NHL level currently, and they need to be cleaned up.
And that's it for this video. Head over to McKeensHockey.com for more hockey information. And please subscribe and hit that like button, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.